Hey, welcome to another episode of Principals on the Come Up, where we transform schools into hallelujah success stories. Well, if you're with us today and you are a principal, I want you to put me in the chat box. I want you to put me in the chat box because we need to know who it is out there that we're talking to. If you are an assistant principal, I want you to put me in the chat box. If you are an instructional coach, I want you to put me in the chat box. If you are a counselor, I want you to put me in that chat box. We're going to see just who we have with us this evening. And if you are an aspiring principal, put me in that chat box. That's right. That's right. If you are a principal, and let's say this, if you are a principal and if you are a newly assigned principal, put me and new. Oh my. If you are a newly assigned assistant principal, put me and new in that chat box. Oh, wow. If you're newly assigned counselor, put me and new. If you're a newly assigned instructional coach, put me and new. How about if you are a principal's assistant, a teacher who was just assigned to be on the leadership team? I want you to put me in that box and put new, so we can see exactly who we're talking to, because today we're going to be talking about how to plan for student orientation. That's right. We're going to be looking at secrets to creating a positive school experience. All right, so are you a newly assigned principal? Are you a new principal from last year, and then we had 2020 and we had 2021, and you're a returning principal and you've never had a regular school year? Put me in that chat box. Have you been directed by your central administration to go on and have an orientation, a new student orientation, returning student orientation? I want you to put me in that chat box. So as we look at an orientation, you know, that's something that everybody assumes. Well, everybody has an orientation. Well, I mean, you know, there are good orientations and there are poor orientations and there are bad orientations. And you are the principal of a newly assigned school, or you are coming back for your second year. So you have some impressions to make. You have some students and some teachers who don't know you. They've heard about you. And me, okay, somebody said me, new to a different school. All right. Now that makes a difference. That makes a difference. Everybody wants to know, what kind of person is he? What school did they come from? How do the teachers like them? Things like, well, you know, how do they handle student discipline? Oh, they're going to have all kind of rumors about you and kind of things that you do and what you expect. I'm telling you, they know everything about. They think they know everything about you before you get a chance to even enter that building. They are in the parking lot talking. They are at the grocery store talking because everybody thinks they know everything about you. I know it. I know it. So you're going to be making some new impressions, and that's all right. That's okay. You are going to be you. You were chosen to be principal of that school because of who you are. So you want to have your orientation because you want your parents and your students to see the faculty and the staff. And if this is your first orientation at this new school or newly assigned school, put me in the chat box. So yeah, that's me. And if you know that you are going into maybe a school that doesn't have good school culture, good school climate, I want you to put me in that chat box, because they have probably assigned you because they want things to change. When I say they, I'm talking about your superintendent, your assistant superintendent. Yeah, they want that. They want to see that. They want to see that change. So first of all, let me tell you who I am. I'm Barbara Polk. I am a turnaround principal. I was assigned by the Texas Education Agency to go into low-performing campuses and get those schools turned around. Because of the success that we had at the schools that I was assigned to, and we did become a hallelujah success stories. And I was also assigned, I was accepted into the Harvard Graduate School of Education, their Urban School Institute, where we looked at the low-performing campuses, and those campuses that I'm going to refer to as, in the red zone, because they have to pull up. They have to pull up, and once they pull up, we look at them out of the red zone and into the brown zone. That is, the ground is ready for us to plant some good seeds. And after we plant some good seeds, then we turn into the green zone. Oh yeah, we're growing some flowers now. And then once we get into that green zone, then we will get into that blue zone where we're flowing. And then hallelujah, we will get into the clouds. We will make it. So let's talk about the kind of things that we need to do to engage our parents and our students for the orientation. So how are you going to engage your students at the orientation? Well, you want, first of all, I'll tell you what you can do. You can share your agenda in advance. You can share it through any of your social media options that are available to you. If you have a Facebook page with your school, you can share that in advance. And what is the benefit of sharing things in advance? First of all, it makes you plan. And you are not, remember principals, you are not doing this alone. You are not working in a vacuum. And it's very hard to think about all the people you have for your support when you're accustomed to doing everything on your own. You're accustomed to coming up with all the ideas of your own. But when you are the principal, you have all these people who can support you. So they will help you come up with some ideas. Of course, you're going to have your own ideas, but they're going to help you come up with some ideas to engage the students. Now, back in the day when we had uniforms, the games people play when you got rules and when you have uniforms. So what we did to engage the students, we had a fashion show. You say, a fashion show, where are we going to find the students? Well, there's some students who are coming back to your school. You may not know all the students, but the teachers are there. You have your instructional coach or somebody who can call some parents and get them to get their kids to school for the orientation. It's usually in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon. But get those students and have them to walk around and to show the parents, okay, this is acceptable, this is not acceptable. And I know uniforms are important in a lot of places, but I like to focus not on the uniform, but on instruction. Don't. I mean, it's a way to do it, and they're just minimum requirements. But let's focus. I like to call it, let's focus on the majors and not the minors. Now, we know that the school uniform is important. We know that the Board of Trustees has decided that that's going to be a policy of the school district. And, you can spend your time making sure that, that's in place. But I tell you, principals, focus on the majors and not the minors. Focus on the majors. Unless something is excessive, but don't spend all your time on that. How about having a theme? How about making your orientation, an Hawaiian theme or some kind of theme that you and your team can come up with? How about having some music, to go along with the theme when the parents walk in? Are you a secondary school? Do you have a band? Do you have a drill team? Do you have any type of a group that performs? Can you have them there, or can you have some of them there? I know usually the orientations are probably about 2 to 3 weeks before school starts. So that means if you do have any type of band or drill team or cheerleaders, they're probably somewhere on or off campus practicing, getting ready for the new school year. So how can you get parents to have fun at the orientation? What can you do to create a welcoming environment, an energetic environment where children are happy, where parents are excited? How about having some type of welcoming icebreaker? And you can come up with all types of icebreakers. They have them here, they have them there. Some are good and some are not so good. So when you are brainstorming with your team, come up with an icebreaker. We want to get the students engaged. We want to get the parents engaged. We want to start this off where they will walk around and have fun and then go back to their community and say, "Ooh, I think we're gonna have a good school year." And guess what? When you have parents saying, "I think we're gonna have a good school year," you are headed in the right direction. So one of the things that was a hit for me was the scavenger hunt. Oh my goodness, the scavenger hunt. Okay, so this is the way we had our scavenger hunt. We had a sheet, and we had to have the students and their parent to go to the English wing, find an English teacher. And of course, they had a map, and we had people stationed at different areas to tell the parents, you're on the wrong side. The English wing is over here. The math side, the math wing is over there. And they would have teachers standing there, and they would sign off. So they would go to the choir room. And what was happening? They were examining the school. They were meeting the teachers, and everybody signed off. So now you have a parent, you have a student in hand. If you're a small school, a medium school, a large school, oh my goodness, the excitement. How many did you get signed? How many did you get signed? And when you got them all signed, you made it back to the main office. And the main office, who would sign at the main office? The principal. So you got a chance to put eyes and hands on your new student because you were the last one to sign for the scavenger hunt. Now, what we did, we gave away backpacks full of all kinds of things that students would need, including the backpack. And watch this. We also had gift cards for parents. So the scavenger hunt was not just for the parents. The scavenger hunt was for the students as well. How exciting was that? Oh my goodness. I had some parents saying, "Oh, I am just so glad. I am just so glad you gave me these supplies because I just, that when school, I just didn't have, what I needed. I just didn't have what I needed. So how about your icebreakers? Think about your icebreakers. All kinds of different things, because we want things to be upbeat. We want people to be having fun. Now, if you are going to do a PowerPoint principles, remember the 10, 20, 30 rule. You will not have death by PowerPoint. And I know that's how we communicate when we have our orientations. Boy, we have our PowerPoint up there, and this is where we just lay down the law. But let's talk about the 10, 20, 30. First of all, no more than 10 slides. Oh, can you do that? No more than 10 slides. So what does that mean? You are going to have to decide the most important things to tell your parents. The most important things. Because remember, the brain can only handle so much information at a time. And if you are a middle school and you have your fifth grader who is a new sixth grader coming into middle school, they're all excited. They're afraid. Parents just don't know about just how they're going to work out with their child. So no more than 10 slides. That's 10. 20. Let it last no more than 20 minutes. No more than 20 minutes. As a matter of fact, if you are having your orientation, that orientation shouldn't last any more than an hour. And please start on time. Please start on time. Guilty, guilty, guilty. I did not start on time like I should have. And you know what I found that people were talking about it negatively? We did a survey, and the survey just gave us so many good things that we were doing at the campus. But then that was some comments about the programs never get started on time. Oh, okay. All right, team. Let's get started on time. Let's get started on time. So you start your orientation on time. You end your orientation on time. Remember, your orientation does not make the world go round. All you are doing is asking parents to set aside an hour for your orientation. You cannot push everything down their throat at the orientation. Okay? So that's the 20, no more than 20 minutes. And 30, for those of you who think, oh, I can get some information on those 10 slides, the 30 is no font smaller than 30. Okay? Let's get that done. Let's get that done. So you want also to get the teachers excited about orientation. Now, when I was middle school principal, we came up with the idea of what was called a meet and greet. So, in middle school, teachers come in early, but in elementary school, oh my God, they cover everything, every nook, every cranny. They dot every I, they cross every T. So what we did, we set aside time for the parents and the child to meet and greet the student in his or her classroom. And you set up the parameters for that. You set up the time, but that is a time where your child will know where he or she is sitting. That teacher will already have that seat labeled. There in our school, that was also a time for parents to purchase all the packets, and that was done through our PTA. So everybody had the same thing. They were made aware of that before the new year started. And if parents were having problems finding certain things that the teacher was requiring, they could talk to the teacher about that. And also, if your child has a seat that maybe it's a really petite child, and this seat is just the place you have for him or her is just not, it just doesn't fit. Or if you have, a big first grader or a second grader, then you have to make sure that when they're at their tables seated, that child is in a comfortable space, has some elbow room, has some leg room. And the parent will be able to see that at that time. And also, you can set maybe 10 to 15 minutes where one parent just won't be hogging all the time. You know how some parents are. They want to go on and on and on. But if you have things by appointment, it could be that when that person's time is up, then you have the next parent's time to come on. So you get the teachers excited, and the teachers in the meet and greet, they're in their classroom. They're working. So they have on their blue jeans and their tennis shoes and t-shirt. They don't have to get, all dressed up for a meet and greet. Your meet and greet may take the place of your orientation. That's just up to you. That's an option. That's an option. So what do you think about the orientation? What do you think about the things that we've talked about today? Do you think that these are some ideas that you can utilize, or there's some things that you're doing like this, that this is what you do. This is what you do. So if you can use any of this information, I want you to go to the chat and I want you to say me, or go to the chat and say, we do something like this every year, or go to the chat and say, we're planning something like this, or we're planning something entirely different from this. Go to the chat and let us know. So, as a new principal, again, congratulations. And as I go into schools, and as this past school year, we were doing everything virtual. We had principals who didn't get a chance to do the orientation. And a lot of times, the orientation is pretty much, this is the way we always do it. And lots of us are in trouble because this is the way we always do it. We want our schools to be excited. Want our students to be excited about coming to school. And the schools that I go into, we have talked to the principals about ideas, and they come up with just wonderful ideas when they collaborate with their teachers and with their team, with the team that they have developed. And I know, newly assigned principals, I know that this is a difficult time for you, but just know that you are going to get through this. You're going to get through this. I mean, this is what I do. I go into schools. I help stand on the side of principals, and I coach principals. And the principal is the one who's receiving all of the credit. I didn't have anybody to stand on the side of me. I was assigned to a school that was low performing. The school was the lowest performing school in the district, and one of the lowest performing schools in the state. And there, the culture was poor, the climate was poor. We had teachers, who would start school on Monday, and after Friday, we'd never see them again. We had students who barely came to school because there was nothing happening. And the scores, of course, were in the pits. And we just had to start all over. And that's what I do when I go into schools, to help teachers, to help principals, to do just the little small things to turn things around, to encourage their teams to support each other. And that's what it takes, and that's what I assist new principals with. So as I go, I see me as I go into, yep, somebody says, yep, that's me, both 1 and 2. Then I was assigned, and then somebody else says, yep, that was me. So we all feel you. We feel it. We feel exactly what you're going through. And here on Principals on the Come Up, this is my mission, to give you about 15 to 30 minutes of resources, ways for you to help improve your schools. And that's just what I do. So if you're interested in my services, contact me at barbaraypoke.com, or you can go on and please join Principals on the Come Up, or invite your friends. Invite your friends to join Principals on the Come Up. You just go to that top button and just click on invite. And you can invite your friends to join Principals on the Come Up. And I know we have some new principals here, and we say, hey, we're glad you're here. So this concludes our Principals on the Come Up for today. We're Principals on the Come Up, where we transform schools into hallelujah success stories. We'll see you next time.